But I realized that there's a lot of different paths that people take. So I did this big analysis. And I said, okay, who are some big guys I think are interesting? So Diplo, he's got this, you can read it. I'm not going to bore you with all this stuff, but I wanted to do it for my own. His breakthrough was working with MIA. One important thing about that, for you producers out there, I mentioned being a lone wolf. I think it's incredibly important that you start working with vocalists and start producing other people's music quickly. The thing about us is we all think we're so sophisticated and every song we make is going to be genius. But then when you work on somebody else's song, you can quickly come up with a canvas for them. You can come up with a package for them, and you can actually fucking finish songs. Because when we're working on songs for ourselves, often we want to put so much in there so that it's this reflection of everything we are. But when you work with another artist, you can come up with a relatively simple vision for them, and you can be more effective. So listen, Diplo finally broke through, and he was working with MIA. I think Diplo's big thing is that he really pays attention to subcultures, and some people criticize him for this, but he makes them popular. He makes them digestible to a mainstream audience. You got DJ Snake. The thing I love about Snake is he's like a hip-hop guy. So he approaches dance music from a perspective like, you know, if you say, oh, Kshmr is the kind of the Indian meets dance music guy. Well, DJ Snake does that for hip-hop, and I just think that gives him a unique perspective, right? So Kygo's great, and I love guys like Kygo, and I think Skrillex is similar, where they came up, or at least popularized a genre we didn't even know we wanted yet, and he remained number one at it because he is a skilled producer. And that's really, in my opinion, the best case scenario when you carve out a lane that's completely your own and there's no competition for you. Kygo's songs pretty much all sound the same, but they're all equally fucking great because he made his own genre, essentially, right? And then Marshmello's kind of a curious example to me because we can't all put on helmets now, can we? And we can't all come up with the super cute branding that just connects like wildfire the way that he did. But it's like an art project meets real life. And originally when I started Kshmr, that was sort of how I looked at it. I didn't want to show my own face. And that can go a long way if you're a fucking dork, like I am. To not show your face, and like a lot of you are probably. So Skrillex, he's a lot like Kygo to me in the sense that he will always be remembered as being at the sort of the crest of the wave of his genre. When you think dubstep, you think Skrillex. When you think tropical house, you think Kygo. Oftentimes, being the first is more important than being the best. If you ever watch the news, there's always a big emphasis on being first, and then the second emphasis is on the facts. But you want to be first because people remember first, and that's not a criticism or anything. For the news, that's not a good quality. But for music, being first trumps being the best. You got Tiesto. Tiesto is what? He's just like the guy. We don't even know how he got there. He's just number one, you know? He's the originator. But what his longevity, I think, can be attributed to the fact that he's always paying attention to the new up-and-comers. He reached out to me when I was working on Secrets, and that became a collaboration. He's always got his ear to young people, and that is what's responsible for his longevity. And then Timmy Trumpet, who's a good friend of mine, is just, he made this bold choice to be the craziest motherfucker at every show. And to raise the bar for EDM performances by incorporating his live trumpet. And I think that was, I think he's sort of like the new Steve Aoki, maybe you could look at it. He carved out his own lane that way. So here with a little bit of Photoshop skills that I possess, I made this fun little thing. And can you read it okay? Ish? Well, poor Kygo, poor Skrillex. So, these are the sort of four categories that I can see people doing well in. And this isn't just in dance music. This is also just in all genres, I think. You could be, but here's the thing. We all might want to be something, but I think in life, you start learning a little bit what the universe wants from you. Like me, I might want to be a tastemaker, Diplo, DJ Snake kind of guy, but I was never cool in high school. I really don't like talking to people. Not a big fan of people. So that it's just not a lot of this is about relationships and about really paying attention to trends. That's another problem. I don't listen to any new music. I've been listening to the same music that, I have since high school. I don't really qualify for being a tastemaker. Now, being a showman, you got guys like Dimitri Vegas, like Mike, you got Timmy Trumpet. They're known for insane live shows, making festival anthems. They evolve with the dance trends. If there's a new trend, you can be fairly sure that they're going to put out a song with the new trend, right? And that's not a shot at them or anything. I mean, listen, we're DJs. We're supposed to play music people want to hear, right? So there's that, and then over here is the inventor. Now, Skrillex and Kai already talked about, they sort of invented and popularized their genre. They're undeniably skilled producers. I wouldn't consider them traditional socialites. This is my favorite area, and to a smaller extent, I'm not as famous as these guys. That's kind of where I would place myself as having invented this sort of sound that I do and carving out my niche there. Now, the last one that I almost don't even want to talk about is Marshmello and Martin Garrix. These guys started with a core following in the dance scene. They have this branding that hits critical mass. You got Martin Garrix, he's like a golden retriever of dance music. You got Marshmello, who's just incredibly, got a catchy look, right? In terms of look appeal, they're kind of equally amazing, for different reasons. Crossover pop hits with future artists. Now, the reason I don't like mentioning this is that it's kind of hard to aim for. I just think that there's sometimes a spark every few years where somebody hits this critical mass, and it's obviously amazing, but I think it's too difficult to recreate, and I think you'll end up getting confused if you try to recreate it, and you'll probably end up sacrificing yourself if you try to recreate it, because it's just it's hard for me to follow exactly what the path is, as opposed to an inventor where I could go into some ideas about how you guys could think about what your story is and create out your own area where you might not have 1 billion followers, but you might have 100,000 or even 10,000, but at least they'll really be your fans and your followers. And you can depend on them. Listen, even when I don't put out big songs, I still have these amazing fans who come out to the shows, and I still get to travel the world, and I get to play the music that still excites me. So it's a path I can understand, and it's the path that I'm going to talk to you guys about today and give you some pointers on. Okay? Was this cool? Did you guys like this? Yeah? Okay. It took me way